Thousands of people have taken part in a far-right protest in central London this afternoon, led by activist Tommy Robinson. There's also been an anti-racist counter-protest nearby.
I believe that we should be here every day, every time they come out, to stand against them, to show that what is this country about, what is London is about, is we are multiculturalists. We are here as people, as neighbours, and we all live together.
The historic streets of London echoed with the fervent chants of thousands of UK citizens rallying together, demanding a reclaim of their nation's identity amidst what many perceive as an escalating immigration crisis.
Oh, let me talk streets where you know.
Don't take us for fools! We know they are not refugees. They are illegal immigrants.
We want our country back, was the resounding call, a slogan that has grown increasingly prevalent in the discourse surrounding immigration and national sovereignty. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. The protest, held in the iconic Trafalgar Square, drew people from various walks of life: students, professionals, retirees, and families, all united by a common concern. The perceived impacts of immigration on the United Kingdom. As the Union Jack flags fluttered in the breeze, the atmosphere was charged with a mix of determination, frustration, and a deep sense of patriotism. The rally was organized by a coalition of grassroots organizations.
The government that's installed are not acting in the best interest of the people. They're not even listening to what the people want. So I want to know what can be done about that, because it seems like you can't vote your way out of it. Whoever comes into power, they just operate under the same agenda, it feels like. So the people don't have a voice. So I feel like this is the best chance that people have at having a voice, is coming to a gathering like this. But I'm still not really seeing what can be done about it. No one's talking about that. You know? I've already seen this film. I want to know what can be done. That's why I'm here.
Each with its agenda, but converging on the shared goal of prompting governmental action on immigration policies. For many attendees, this protest was not merely about immigration statistics or economic theories, but about a sense of losing control over their national destiny.
This protest is about everyone's dissatisfaction with how we're being governed, to be honest. People are just fed up with not having a voice. I know there's a lot of people say that this is a racist thing and all that kind of thing, but I don't see that. I just see ordinary people who are just fed up and don't seem to have a voice.
The UK has long been a beacon of multiculturalism, but recent years have seen growing anxieties over integration, job competition, and pressure on public services. These concerns were amplified by the Brexit referendum in 2016, which underscored a significant portion of the population's desire to reclaim national sovereignty and control over immigration. Speakers at the rally included prominent political figures, activists, and ordinary citizens who have felt the direct impact of immigration in their communities. They spoke passionately about the changes they have witnessed and their fears for the future. John Smith, a retired factory worker from Birmingham, addressed the crowd, recounting how his neighborhood had transformed over the decades. "We welcomed people from all over, and we still do," he said. But we need to ensure that immigration is controlled and that newcomers integrate into our society. The protest highlighted a deep-seated concern that the UK government has not done enough to address the challenges posed by immigration. Many protesters believe that the country's infrastructure is struggling to cope with the influx of new arrivals, leading to strains on the National Health Service, NHS, housing, and education. Jane Wilson, a nurse from Manchester, shared her first-hand experiences of these pressures. "Our hospitals are overstretched and it's becoming harder to provide quality care," she explained. "We need a balanced approach to immigration that considers the needs of our citizens." Amidst the speeches and chants, there was a palpable sense of nostalgia for a simpler time, a yearning for the Britain of yesteryears.
Make no odds about it, the war has begun. Look around you, we're already at war. So yes, if we go down the road in an armoured vehicle flying our flag, it's letting them know that enough is enough. They have taken enough from our country and we will be taking it back. The Muslim community.
But who are we at war with? Like I don't see anybody else going down the streets in an armoured vehicle.
No, you won't do, because you know what? It's the elite that will come out onto these streets and stand up for their country. You're looking at them.
This sentiment was encapsulated by the words of Mary Robinson, an 80-year-old grandmother who had traveled from her small village in Cornwall to join the rally. I remember a time when we knew everyone in our community, and there was a strong sense of togetherness, she reminisced. Now, it feels like we're losing that connection. We need to protect our way of life. However, the rally was not without its critics. Opponents of the protest argued that the narrative of an immigration crisis is often exaggerated and that immigrants contribute significantly to the UK economy and society. They warned against the dangers of xenophobia and stressed the importance of embracing diversity. Counter-protests also took place, with activists advocating for the rights of immigrants and refugees, highlighting the humanitarian aspect of immigration policies.
I'm coming every day into Rotherham. Rotherham, we've lived here all our life. Yeah, it was a peaceful time. Over the last 2-3 years, with these EDL, BNP, whatever, coming every year, it's causing pockets of causing racism, everything which all communities have managed to get over years.
The tension between these two perspectives was evident in the streets, but the prevailing mood among the protesters was one of unity and resolve. They called for stricter immigration controls, better integration policies, and a reassessment of the UK's approach to asylum seekers. Many expressed frustration with the political establishment, feeling that their concerns have been ignored or dismissed. The chants of "We want our country back" reverberated through the heart of London.
We don't have an identity, it's been eroded, been taken from us. Things like nursery rhymes we don't have. I know it sounds daft. Our nation's food has drastically changed.
Like fish and chips?
Yeah, but even your standard
Do you
meat...
think there's less fish and chips now in the
Your
UK?
meat and 2 veg. We're a coffee nation, not a tea nation anymore.
Symbolizing a broader struggle for identity and control in an increasingly globalized world. The protest was a manifestation of the challenges facing modern democracies, balancing the benefits of openness with the need for social cohesion and security. It was a reminder that behind the statistics and policies are real people with genuine fears and aspirations.
I'm a proud Englishman, and I've had enough of this country being taken away from us, from government more than anything, the elites, the globalists.
The government's response to the protest was cautious. Prime Minister and other senior officials acknowledged the concerns raised by the demonstrators, emphasizing their commitment to addressing immigration issues while maintaining the UK's tradition of openness and hospitality. They pointed to ongoing efforts to reform the immigration system, including stricter border controls and measures to ensure better integration of immigrants into British society. Yet, for many protesters, these assurances fell short. There was a pervasive sense of urgency, a belief that more decisive action was needed to preserve the nation's character and stability.
What do you think about the state of the UK right now?
I think it's in a terrible state.
Why do you think that?
Because they're supporting the wrong things and not looking at, you know, the way like they were saying that we're trouble causing, and we're not. We're here to take back something of ours. We have all different saints' days going on, all different religious days going on. So it was just something
like St. George's Day.
As the rally continued into the evening, the speeches grew more impassioned and the crowd's energy remained undiminished. The sense of solidarity among the demonstrators was palpable as they shared their stories and visions for the future.
For me personally as well, to feel more hopeful and to feel like I'm not by myself whenever I'm, thinking how scary it really looks like to be alive like right now.
And we came from Eastbourne to make sure that, try and, show him that there is an opposition, and most people in the UK are anti-racist, and that immigration is important and a valuable asset to the UK.
One of the recurring themes at the rally was the impact of immigration on the job market. Many attendees voiced concerns that an influx of foreign workers was driving down wages and making it harder for British citizens to find employment. This issue was particularly salient in sectors like construction, manufacturing, and service industries, where competition for jobs is fierce. Mark Taylor, a construction worker from Leeds, spoke to this point, saying, "I've seen wages stagnate and jobs become scarcer. It's not about being against immigrants. It's about ensuring that British workers aren't left behind." Education was another critical issue raised at the protest.
Why do you say that we're not equal? What do you mean by that?
I just think there's a lot of unfairness going on within the country. This country, it's no longer equal to all. It used to be, or we tried to be, so back in the 90s, we were all talking about equal opportunities. Then we went into inclusivity and diversity, and somewhere along the way we've lost ourselves and we're not equal at all. There are some people, it is that, the old adage about some are more equal than others.
Parents and teachers expressed worries about overcrowded schools and the challenges of accommodating students from diverse linguistic and cultural backgrounds. Sarah Thompson, a primary school teacher from London, highlighted the pressures faced by educators. "We want to give every child the best start in life, but it's becoming increasingly difficult with limited resources and growing class sizes," she said. "We need more support and a more sustainable approach to immigration." The rally also brought to light the strain on housing. Many demonstrators argued that the housing market was being stretched to its limits, with demand far outstripping supply. Rising rents and property prices have made it harder for young people and low-income families to find affordable housing. Emma Davies, a single mother from Bristol, shared her struggles in securing a home. "I work hard and try to provide for my kids, but it's a constant battle to keep a roof over our heads," she lamented. "We need more affordable housing and a fairer system." As the sun began to set, the rally showed no signs of winding down. The streets of London remained filled with passionate citizens, determined to make their voices heard.
How's it going, Richard?
It's going great. I think considering what the potential is with a crowd like this, everyone's behaving impeccably.
Yeah, it's good.
We've got thousands of people, a bit boisterous, everyone's having a bit of a laugh,
Yeah.
but there's no trouble. And that's what we want. We want a peaceful protest.
Big crowd.
Massive crowd. I think there's 15 lefties in town today. There's probably 20,000 of us, maybe more. I haven't even counted.
Are you going to speak, Richard?
I don't think so. We're going to give some of the young guns a chance to speak because everyone knows what I've got to say.
Yes.
The protest was a testament to the power of grassroots movements and the enduring spirit of democracy. It was a reminder that, despite the complexities and challenges of modern society, people still believe in their ability to affect change and shape the future of their nation. While the rally focused on immigration, it also touched on broader issues of national identity, sovereignty, and the role of the UK in a rapidly changing world. Many protesters expressed a desire to see the UK chart its course, independent of external influences.
It's the government's problem here. They've made a right mess of it. They shouldn't have done what they've done. It's costing, the amount of money it's costing per day is ridiculous. When you've got a cost of living crisis, but we're spending all this money on hotels for asylum seekers. When you've got all these old MOD sites which are standing empty. It's just crazy. Just beggars belief.
This sentiment was particularly strong among those who had supported Brexit, seeing it as a step toward reclaiming control over national affairs. The protest also sparked a broader conversation about the nature of British identity and what it means to be British in the 21st century. For some, this means a return to traditional values and a focus on preserving the cultural heritage of the nation.
There's a saying, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Looking at the crowd today, I certainly feel like I'm winning, people, okay? I wanna say a personal thank you to every single one of you who have sacrificed your time, given your day, and made your way here today to tell them people in that building there that you love your country.
For others, it involves embracing diversity and finding new ways to integrate different cultures into the fabric of society. This ongoing debate is a reflection of the dynamic and evolving nature of national identity in an interconnected world. As the rally came to a close, there was a sense of accomplishment among the protesters. They had made their voices heard and brought attention to an issue they felt was of paramount importance. Yet there was also an understanding that this was just one step in a longer journey. The complexities of immigration and national identity require ongoing dialogue, thoughtful policymaking, and a willingness to listen to different perspectives. The rally in London was a microcosm of a larger global conversation about immigration, sovereignty, and identity. Similar debates are taking place in countries around the world as people grapple with the challenges and opportunities of a globalized society. The UK, with its rich history and diverse population, is uniquely positioned to navigate these issues, drawing on its traditions of democracy, openness, and resilience. As the sun set behind the majestic buildings of London, the fervor of the rally persisted, casting long shadows of determination and unity across the city. The streets, which had witnessed an outpouring of emotion and conviction, now hummed with a quieter, but no less intense undercurrent of discussion and reflection.
We saw a lot of violence going on between the protesters and the police. Do you think that perhaps this is tainting the image of, for example, people here today and the cause they're trying to represent?
I personally don't think it does, because I think it's the government and the Met Police failing to provide an adequate level of care, so people feel as if they have to step up and take it into their own hands.
I came on the day when we protected the cenotaph and also the...
Do you think you protected the cenotaph?
We weren't even allowed near it.
There were reports of clashes here today between the protesters and the police. What do you think of that?
I'm not sure how true that is.
I haven't seen any clashes.
Where were the clashes?
The day's events were the culmination of growing discontent among segments of the population who felt increasingly marginalized in the national conversation about immigration and its impact on the UK. Among the sea of faces at the rally was Amelia Turner, a small business owner from the Midlands. She embodied the complex interplay of concerns that many protesters harbored. Amelia had come to London not out of disdain for immigrants, but out of a deep-seated belief that the current system was unsustainable. She recounted how her small bookstore, once a bustling hub of the local community, now struggled against the pressures of a changing demographic landscape and economic competition. "It's not that I don't want new people to come here," she said, her voice tinged with a mix of weariness and hope. "I just want it to be managed in a way that doesn't leave people like me behind." This sentiment of feeling left behind was a recurring theme throughout the rally.
You feel like you've got a good future living here?
Well, that's what we want to make. A good future.
What do you think needs to be changed?
The government, for a start. That's it.
What do you think of the government?
I don't think anything of it at the minute. It's not doing anything for the country.
Would you say that Rishi Sunak is doing a good job?
I'll pass judgment on that one, thank you.
He's a waste of space.
Yeah, I think it's time he went home now.
Boris Johnson was better, and that's saying something. The biggest problem we've got at the moment is we've got two major parties, and there is no difference between the two.
The UK has long prided itself on its ability to welcome newcomers and integrate them into the fabric of society. However, the rapid pace of immigration in recent years has led some to question whether this integration is happening effectively. There were numerous accounts of communities feeling fractured, with social services stretched thin and cultural tensions simmering beneath the surface. David Thompson, a local councillor from a northern town, addressed the crowd with a stark reminder of the real-world implications of these tensions. He shared stories of local schools where teachers struggled to meet the needs of an increasingly diverse student body without adequate resources. "Our teachers are heroes," he proclaimed, "but they can't do it alone. We need more support, more funding, and a realistic plan to ensure that every child, no matter where they come from, has the chance to succeed." Healthcare was another critical issue that dominated the conversations at the rally. The National Health Service, NHS, a cherished institution in the UK, has faced significant challenges including budget constraints, staffing shortages, and increasing demand.
I believe that we should be here every day, every time they come out, to stand against them, to show that what is this country about, what is London is about, is we are multiculturalists. We are here as people, as neighbours, and we all live together.
Many protesters argued that these issues were exacerbated by the pressures of immigration. Dr. Helen White, a GP from London, spoke passionately about the day-to-day struggles faced by healthcare professionals. "We work tirelessly to provide the best care possible," she said, but the system is under immense strain. We need a sustainable approach that ensures everyone can access quality health care. The rally also provided a platform for discussing the broader economic impacts of immigration. While many economists argue that immigration brings overall economic benefits, such as filling labor shortages and contributing to innovation, the protesters contended that these benefits were not evenly distributed. In many working-class communities, there was a sense that the economic gains were being concentrated in urban centers and among higher-income groups, leaving others to contend with lower wages and job insecurity. Among those raising this point was Paul Jenkins, a former steelworker from Sheffield. He spoke about the decline of manufacturing jobs and the struggle to find stable employment in a rapidly changing economy. "We need to invest in our own people," he insisted. "We need job training programs, apprenticeships, and support for industries that provide good, stable jobs. We can't just rely on cheap labor from abroad." The theme of national sovereignty also featured prominently in the rhetoric of the rally. Many protesters viewed the ability to control immigration as a fundamental aspect of self-governance and national identity. The Brexit vote, which had been driven in part by concerns over immigration, was seen by many as a mandate for taking back control of the nation's borders. Yet, years after the referendum, there was a pervasive feeling that not enough had changed. Samantha Blake, a young professional from London, captured this sentiment in her speech. "We voted to leave the EU because we wanted to regain control over our laws and our borders," she declared. "But we're still facing the same issues. It's time for our government to listen to us and take action. We want policies that reflect the will of the people." As night fell and the rally gradually dispersed, the conversations and debates continued in homes, pubs, and online forums across the country. The rally had not just been an expression of frustration. It had been a call for dialogue and a demand for solutions. It was clear that while the protesters were united in their concerns, there was a diversity of opinion on how best to address the issues at hand. In the days that followed, the rally sparked a flurry of political activity.
Absolutely, and you're advising people not to vote in this election.
Well, I'm saying my opinion, purely my opinion, is not worth voting. If I go to the ballot box it'll be to put none of the above, because what can you do? You can only protest.
Will you see a return for you to full-time politics?
No, I'm too old and I don't have £20 million spare to start a party up with. Kitchen table politics is dead, it can't be done.
Well, you did an amazing job over the years, so thank you very much for your service.
You're welcome.
Lawmakers and policymakers found themselves grappling with the demands of their constituents, seeking to balance the need for immigration control with the economic and social benefits that immigration brings. There were calls for comprehensive immigration reform, aimed at creating a system that is both humane and effective. One proposal that gained traction was the idea of a points-based immigration system, similar to those used in countries like Canada and Australia. Proponents argued that such a system would allow the UK to prioritize immigrants based on skills, education, and other factors, ensuring that those who come to the country can contribute to the economy and integrate into society more easily. Critics, however, cautioned that such systems can be overly rigid and may fail to account for the needs of industries that rely on lower-skilled labor. Another area of focus was improving integration policies. There was broad consensus among policymakers that better support systems were needed to help immigrants adapt to life in the UK. This included language training, job placement programs, and initiatives to foster community cohesion. The aim was to create a more inclusive society where newcomers can thrive while respecting and preserving the cultural heritage of their new home. The rally also reignited debates about the UK's asylum policies. There was a strong humanitarian undercurrent among some protesters who argued that the country has a moral obligation to provide refuge to those fleeing persecution and conflict.
If you asked me 3 years ago what I thought of Tommy Robinson, I wouldn't have been very nice. But I stopped believing what the mainstream media said, and I actually looked on the internet and found videos from him, tried to look for some racist things he said or done, and there aren't any out there.
He's highlighting quite a few issues which the mainstream media won't touch, and the government just brushes under the carpet.
However, There were also calls for a more streamlined and efficient asylum process to ensure that those in genuine need receive timely assistance while preventing abuse of the system. In response to the rally, several political parties began outlining their positions on immigration with renewed vigor. The ruling party emphasized its commitment to taking a balanced approach, combining stricter border controls with efforts to integrate immigrants into society. The opposition, while acknowledging the need for effective immigration management, called for a more compassionate and inclusive approach, highlighting the contributions of immigrants to the UK's economy and culture. Amidst the political maneuvering, there were also grassroots efforts to bridge the divide and foster understanding between different communities. Local councils, community organizations, and civil society groups launched initiatives to promote dialogue and cooperation. These efforts aim to dispel myths about immigration, highlight the positive contributions of immigrants, and address the legitimate concerns of those who felt left behind. One such initiative was the Community Conversations program in Birmingham, where residents from diverse backgrounds came together to share their experiences and discuss common challenges. The program facilitated open and respectful dialogue, helping to build bridges and foster a sense of shared purpose. Similar programs were rolled out in other parts of the country, reflecting a broader recognition that addressing the complexities of immigration requires community-level engagement and collaboration. The rally in London, with its passionate calls for reclaiming the nation, underscored the importance of national identity in the immigration debate.
Make no odds about it, the war has begun. Look around you, we're already at war. So yes, if we go down the road in an armoured vehicle flying our flag, it's letting them know that enough is enough. They have taken enough from our country and we will be taking it back. The Muslim community.
But who are we at war with? Like I don't see anybody else going down the streets in an armoured vehicle.
No, you won't do, because you know what? It's the elite that will come out onto these streets and stand up for their country. You're looking at them.
For many protesters, this was not just about controlling borders, but about preserving a sense of cultural and historical continuity. They feared that without careful management, the UK's unique character and traditions could be eroded. In response, cultural institutions and educational bodies took steps to emphasize the importance of British history and heritage in schools and public life. There was a renewed focus on teaching young people about the country's past, its achievements, and its values, fostering a sense of pride and belonging. At the same time, there was an effort to celebrate the diverse contributions that different communities have made to the nation's cultural tapestry. As the dust settled and the immediate fervor of the rally faded, it became clear that the event had left an indelible mark on the national consciousness. It had brought to the forefront the complex and often contentious issues surrounding immigration and national identity. It had sparked a vital conversation about the future of the UK, one that transcended the simplistic binaries of pro- and anti-immigration stances. The rally was a reminder that the challenges of immigration and national identity are not unique to the UK. Across the globe, nations are grappling with similar issues, seeking to balance openness with security, diversity with cohesion. The UK, with its long history of immigration and its evolving identity, is at the forefront of this global conversation. In the final analysis, the rally was a powerful testament to the democratic spirit of the UK. It showed that ordinary citizens, when united by a common cause, can make their voices heard and influence the national agenda. It highlighted the importance of listening to diverse perspectives, engaging in meaningful dialogue, and working together to find solutions to complex problems. The chant of "We want our country back" will continue to resonate in the hearts of those who were there, serving as a call to action and a reminder of the power of collective action. The rally was not an endpoint, but a beginning, a catalyst for ongoing efforts to create a more just, equitable, and inclusive society. As the UK navigates the challenges of the 21st century, the spirit of the rally will remain a guiding force, inspiring future generations to take up the mantle and strive for a better future for all. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, do you support the UK citizens' protest against immigration policies? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.